and welcome everyone. So today in this video we are going to start a new chapter, that is key elements of democratic government. Okay, key elements of democratic government. See, in our previous chapter, if you have watched my previous video, if you haven't watched my previous video, do watch the video on what is government. There we have talked about this democratic form of government and how the government has been given power by the people to implement certain decisions. All right, so here in this chapter we are going to learn about the people's, especially about the people's participations. Okay, people's participations in forming the government, what are the roles of the people, and how the people keeps the government or the ruling power into alert, and how the people also participate on the resolutions of conflicts, and how it creates equality and justice. Okay, so here before starting that about these participations of people in our democratic government, we are going to see about South Africa. Okay, like in South Africa is a country which have recently got independence. Recently means in the year, only in the year 1994 only, after a prolonged struggle about, especially struggle, there was a struggle about, there was a discrimination on the basis of race that we called as apartheid. Okay, so here we are going to see about it first, and after that we are going to start about the participation of people. So here, see in the world map, you can see here South Africa, it is here, and our India, it is here. Okay, so here let us see. Okay, let us start. South Africa is a country that has people of several races, that are black people. There are black people who belong to South Africa, whites who came there to settle, and Indians who came as a laborer and traders. So here in South Africa you will find people from different races. See, in case of India also there are different types of people, there are different religious, there are different types of people who belongs to different groups of religion, who practice certain different cultures, isn't it? And that's, we can say that's a diversity that we have, which you have learned. And same case here in South Africa, but there is a severe case of, there was a severe case of discrimination, okay, by the white people who came there to settle. So let us see. So here there is a little story about this a little girl here, like when she came to know about the a young boy which was been shot dead. Okay, so let us see. Maya Naidu. Okay, Maya Naidu is her name. An 11-year-old South African girl living in the town of Johannesburg was helping her mother clear up her old boxes. She found a scrapbook full of pictures and newspaper articles. There were many pictures of young schoolboy of around 15 years of age, and when she asked her mother who the boy was, she was told that he was called Hector Peterson and he had been shot by the police. Maya was shocked. Why? She asked. So while cleaning up their old boxes, they found certain pictures, okay, and they found some old scrapbook and various newspaper articles. And when Maya asked who were they, so her mother replied he was Hector Peterson and he was been shot by the police. So like Maya was shocked and wanted to know the reason behind, like why this Hector Peterson was been shot. So here her mother explained. Okay, her mother explained that South Africa was earlier governed by apartheid laws. Okay, apartheid laws. What is this apartheid law? Apartheid means separation on the basis of race. When you are doing separation, that means you are discriminating people. Okay, so South Africa people were divided into white, black, Indian, and colored race. So here, according to this law, okay, according to this apartheid law, okay, this race were not allowed to mingle with each other, to live near each other, or even to use common facilities. See how discriminatory this rule was. These people were not allowed to live with each other, they were not allowed to mingle with each other, they have to live separately, like the black people will be living separately, the white people will be living separately. And here discrimination is being done against the black people and the other Indian people and the other colored race people. By whom? By the white people, by taking the best of best by them and by giving the worst of worst to the other race group people. Okay, Maya could not believe her ear. Okay, here on hearing this, Maya could not believe her ears. Maya's mother sounded angry when she spoke about life under apartheid. She told Maya that in those days, like here, Maya's mother was little sounded angry, like she was remembering about those period, okay, those worst period of her life, we can say. And she sounded little angry also, okay, she sounded little angry as well. Why? Like when she was explaining about it, she was remembering the pain that they have gone through during that discrimination, okay. So those days she told that the hospitals were also separate, okay, hospitals were also separate, and so were the ambulance, even the ambulance was separate. Not only hospital, everything was separate, okay. An ambulance meant for white people would always be well equipped, while the one meant for black people was not. There were separate trains and buses. So even separate trains and buses were there. Even the bus stop were different for blacks and white people. See, the bus stop were different for black and white people, like where they will be waiting for the train, okay. And the black people were not allowed to sit on the train of the white people or the bus of the white people, or they were not allowed to do treatment on the hospitals of the white people. Everything was being separated. All right. Here, all of them were being termed as a non-whites people, okay. Apart from white people, non-whites were not allowed to vote. See, they were not even given allowed to vote. See, voting is your natural right, isn't it? When you turn the age of 18 or 21, based on the country in which you are living. In case of India, it is 18, okay. So according to this universal adult franchise, which we have learned in a previous chapter, isn't it? I hope you remember. So we have the right to vote, and India, after its independence, everyone, women, poor men, rich men, everyone became equal in the eye of law, and they also grant the equality of voting to everyone without any form of discrimination here, isn't it? But here in Africa, they were not even allowed to vote. The best land in the country was reserved for the white people, and non-whites had to live on the worst available land. See, the best country, the best land, or okay, was been reserved for the white people only, and the black were been given the very worst land where no cultivation will happen, or it was not fertile, or there are so many problems over there, okay. Thus blacks and colored peoples were not considered equal to whites. So blacks and the other colored peoples, okay, other non-whites people, you can say, are not considered as equal. So here she will tell about that Peterson, okay. One black township was the southwestern township. So as they have a different area, so one of the area, it was known as a southwestern township, known as Soweto. See, so Soweto. So Hector Peterson lived here, and he and his classmate joined to protest against the learning of the African language in school. This was the language that which the white people spoken, okay. White people spoke. Hector and other school students were being forced to learn this language, but they wanted to learn their own language, which is Zulu, okay. So here, why this Hector and his friend protested? Because they were being forced to learn African language, which was being spoken by only the white people. But here, what they actually wanted to do, they wanted to learn their very own mother tongue, that was known as Zulu, okay. And here the South African police beat up the protester mercilessly and shot at the crowd. So one of the bullet killed Hector. This was on 16 June 1976. See, this is not very old news, isn't it? This was recent news, we can say. It happened in the year 1976. So even during that time, when, see, in case of India, if you compare it with India, India have already got its independence on the year 1947. So here in the year 1976 also, they were struggling for their independence. So in that way, Hector Peterson was been shot dead. Okay, so the African National Congress, a group of people who led the struggle against an apartheid, and their most well-known leader, Nelson Mandela. Okay, Nelson Mandela, I hope all of you have heard about him. He was the first prime minister as well of Africa, isn't it, South Africa? So here you can compare Nelson Mandela with the freedom fighters of India, the great freedom fighters of India, like Mahatma Gandhi, Bhagat Singh, okay, Rani Lakshmibai. There are so many great freedom fighters, isn't it, Jawaharlal Nehru? So here you can compare Nelson Mandela as the Mahatma Gandhi of South Africa, isn't it? Like, who have led the struggle, and on that struggle he have went to jail, and he was been put behind bars so for so many years, where he have written so many books, and from there also he was struggling for freedom. Okay, so such stories are there, you'll learn more about in your higher classes. Okay, so he was the one who fought the apartheid system for several years. Finally, they succeeded in 1994. See, only in 1994 they have succeeded, and South Africa became a democratic country in which people of all races were considered equal. So again, they adopted after independence. What did they adopt? They adopted the democratic form of government. Okay, they adopted the democratic form of government, and they have declared their country as independent country, which will be run in a democracy. Okay, that will be run in a democracy where the power will be in the hands of people and all races will be equal. There will be no discriminations or anything been done. So this was about South Africa. I hope you have understood. Okay, so next let us see about the participation here, how people participate in case of election. Okay, especially in the case of representative democracy, that our India is also a representative democracy, isn't it? So why do we have regular election? We have election after every 5 years. Okay, so we have already read in the previous chapter that people make the decision in democracy through voting and election. People elect leaders to represent them. This representative takes decision on the behalf of the people. So here we have already learned, isn't it? I hope you still remember. We have already learned that how government takes decision, but that power has been given to government by the people. So in doing so, it assumed that they will keep in mind the voice and interest of the people. Why? The people are the one, isn't it, who have elected that current ruling government. So they will always work for the betterment of the people. So here one such one such example you can say that is through voting, how people participated in the making of the government, isn't it, making of the Indian government. So all governments are elected for a fixed period. In India, this period is for 5 years. Once elected, government can stay in power only for that period. When they want to continue to be in power, then they have to be re-elected by the people. This is a moment when people can share the power in a democracy. In this way, the power of government gets limited by regular election. So in case if there was no elections or anything, regular election or anything, then the ruling government which is in power, they will not behave according to the betterment of the people. Okay, they will start doing whatever they wanted. But here what checks them, what makes them regulate the time to time election, the regular election, because in every election every party wanted to get in power, isn't it? So in order to maintain the power, what they have to do, they have to work for the betterment of the people. So in this way, the government gets limited by this regular election. So it plays a very important role. Okay, so this was one way in which people participate. Okay, the other ways, let us see. The other ways are the other ways of participation. Okay, what are the other ways of participation? Elections are usually held once in 5 years, as we already know. Besides voting, there are other ways of participation in the process of government. So here people participate by taking an interest in the working of the government and by criticizing it when required. Okay, by criticizing means, example here, it doesn't mean that every time they will be criticizing it. In case if a particular government is not working as per the betterment of the people of India, or in case if they have introduced any such law which hampers the growth of the people of India, then what can the people do? The people will criticize. Where they will criticize? They will criticize through newspaper, magazines, or in TV. Okay, through the help of media, by protesting. So about that we are going to see here. So here one such example is given. Okay, when people have criticized the government. In August 2005, okay, when a particular government increased the money people had to pay for electricity, means they have increased the electricity bill. Okay, the government have increased the electricity bill of that in the year 2005 to August. So here what people do, the people expressed their disapproval very sharply, see, very angrily, okay, very pointedly. Here sharply literally means pointed things sharp, isn't it? So here people express their disapproval, that they don't want to pay higher amount. See, why people have given vote to a particular candidate. Whenever a candidate comes to ask vote, I hope you have also observed about it. If you have not observed, you do observe, okay, whenever there is any type of such organized work it's been done in your locality, okay, or any candidate is coming to give speech, you hear his speech, okay, his or her speech, and see, like he will be asked for, in order to ask what he or she will be promising, he or she will be promising first thing the water, there will be proper supply of water, housing should be there, isn't it, proper sanitation facilities would be there, and up with that they also announced that if you elect me, if I came into power, I'll reduce the electricity bill, or I'll give the electricity for free for a period of this and this time, isn't it, such thing happens. So here what the government do, increase of decreasing, they've increased the rate. So here people do not like it, so they disapproved it, okay. So what did the people do? In order to show their disapproval, they took out rallies and also organized a signature campaign. Signature campaign means when you are taking signature of each and every person who is not willing to pay that amount, okay, or who is not willing to follow that particular rule, you can say. So in this way they have disapproved, okay. So here, apart from voting, they criticize it, isn't it, they criticize it, and they organized rally, isn't it, or organized rally and signature campaign as well, okay. Apart from that, they organized dharna and all also, isn't it. So here what the government have done, the government tried to explain and defend its decision, but finally listened to the people's opinion and withdrew the increase. See, withdrew the increase. The government has to change its decision because it is responsible for the people. So here the government unwillingly, first it tried to defend, like they have tried to explain by saying that, okay, we have increased the amount, and that increased amount will be used for the betterment of the country, for the development of the infrastructure of the country, this and that. But here people do not listen, isn't it, as they have disapproved very sharply, they do not listen, they were not ready to listen. So what happened at last, the government withdrew. The government have not increased the price of this electric bill. So here what happens, what it shows, now the government had changed because it is responsible to the people, because it is that people who is going to give him power or her power in the next election. So keeping in that mind, what the government has withdrawn its decision. So here what does it show? It shows the power of the people in a democratic government. In case of a non-democratic government or monarchical government, as you have seen, whatever the king will be announcing, it will be full and final. The people do not have any power to speak up. Or in a dictatorship of government, as you have seen, you have witnessed in this Germany under the dictatorship of Hitler, isn't it, how he have deteriorated everything, especially the Jews over there, isn't it, how they were being sent into concentration camp. So why? Because over there the people do not have such rights. But here in India or any democratic country, we should feel very lucky that we have such rights. We have freedom of thoughts, we have freedom of expression, isn't it? So whatever we don't like, we have freedom to criticize the government. Otherwise such powers are not given. In case of China also, there is a republican form of government where the people do not have any kind of rights. The people are not given such rights, such freedom. They have rights, but such freedoms are not given as in case of India or any other democratic country. In a democratic country, the people are the ultimate source of power. Okay, I hope you have understood. Okay, let us continue these the ways of participation. Okay, apart from this, what are the other ways? So let's see. Okay, there are many other ways, okay, in which people express their views and makes government understand what action they should take. This includes dharnas, rallies, strikes, signature campaigns, etc. So here, apart from voting, criticizing, taking out rallies or signature campaigns, see here there are mentioned dharnas, rallies, strikes. These are some of the measures, these are some of the way in which people show their disapproval, okay, show their disapproval, and they are been protesting. Things that are unfair and unjust are also brought forward, and newspaper, magazines and TV also play a role in discussing government issues and responsibilities. So here the media, okay, the media, you can say, plays an important role in discussing government issues and responsibilities. Whatever the government brings any law, how the people will come to know? The people will come to know only through these newspapers or by watching the TV, the news, isn't it? I hope you have often seen your parents also watching the TV. Okay, this law has been introduced, this, that, isn't it? So here Okay, when it is true that a democracy allows people to participate, it is also true that not all sections of people are actually able to do so. See here, one more important thing is that if the citizens are alert, okay, if the citizens are alert and interested, only then they are participating it, otherwise they are not. Okay, and there are some sections of people, again the poor sections or the minority section or the women, you can say, they are not participating it due to the lack of organization. But how you will make them participate? By properly organizing them. Okay, so another way to people to participate is by organizing themselves into social movements that seeks to challenge the government and its functioning. To by organizing them, make them participate. Okay, let them participate. Members of the minority, Dalit, Adivasis, women and other are often able to participate in this manner. So this group of people, they participate when proper organization, when it is properly organized to make them participate into some social movement that seeks to challenge us when they are going to challenge the government here. Okay. Okay. If a country's people are alert, okay, if a country's people are alert and interested in how the country is run, the democratic character of the government of that country will be stronger. So this is what I was telling you. If a people are alert, if the citizens are alert, if they are well defined, if they are well informed, okay, like what the government is doing, what is the current law that has been adopted by the government, what are the other things that the government is working, then only that country will grow very stronger, because in such a country the government will also be very alert, isn't it? I mean, as they know the citizens are very alert, the government will also be very alert, then they will be working only for the betterment of the country and the people, and that will make the country very strong. So what you should do next time, whenever you see rally winding through the streets of our cities, towns and village, we should pause to find out what the rally is about. So we should know, we should stop and you should see, you should inquire, okay, what the rally is about and who is participating in it and what they are protesting about. Okay, so this will help us to give a sense of how our government works, and then you will know, okay, why people are taking out this rally, why they are unhappy. Okay, you'll come to know the reason. So I hope you have understood until this. So there are two more topics, that is need to resolve conflict and equality and justice, that we will be doing in our next class. So that's all for today's video. Okay, I hope you have understood, and before you go, take a moment to like the video and share it with your friends and family. Subscribe to my channel for such daily classes, and comment below with your thoughts about the participation of the people in a democratic country, what you feel, okay, and what you know. You comment down your thoughts, okay, on today's topic. And if you want to support my channel, consider hitting the bell icon as well, so that you never miss any notification. And thank you again for watching. See you in my next video.